about, or when we talked about perspective. Okay, perspective. You guys are like, I don't know, Harward. Anyway, we're gonna apply that. We're gonna apply that to this drawing here. Okay, we're going to apply that to this drawing here. Now, so we're going to get a pencil. You're not going to need an eraser. Don't worry about that. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go there. And let me go here. And mute that. All right, cool. So, now, we have a big piece of paper. So we're not going to draw small. We got to draw big, okay? We got to fill this in. So the main thing that we see here is we see this. First thing that I see is this. You see that right there? That movement? The gesture. Remember when I taught you guys figure drawing, how to draw the human figure, okay? And art 234, you might want to pay attention. If you guys are just sitting there doing nothing, you might want to follow along because you could learn more. So anyway, we have this coming this way like that. So we're going to put that in like this. Okay? And see how I'm holding the pencil? I'm keeping this super loose. Now, there is a type of drawing. We're going to be sketching today. There is a type of drawing. It's called contour drawing or one-line contour drawing. I'm going to teach you guys that later, okay? Now, check this out. Look at this come out like this, and this comes back like this. See, this is right here, this little letter V. So we're going to come down like this because we want to fill up this page, okay? We want to fill up the page. So we're just like keeping this kind of simple. Just putting the biggest shape possible and dividing up this big page. It's like when you guys get a big sheet of paper, you're like, what do I do with this, okay? I'm going to show you an option of what you do with this. Now, I want to point this out. Look at this is the rear end of the dog. See this angle right here that you can't really see? That's the hip right there. So we're going to go like that. We're going to put that in too. So that's coming down like that. Okay, so that is this, and this is coming down, and that's coming down like that. And I'm realizing I'm going, oh, look at that distance right there, right? So that's like 1/3, that's like what, 1/3, and this is like 2/3 or something like that. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to move this up here, and then this is going to come down like that. So that's going to be the nose. We're just going to go, hey, there's a little marker for the nose. We're just going to go, okay, that's kind of like a nose shape, so we're just going to do that, okay? And I'm just taking a second here, and I'm looking at this situation and the drawing. Or the photo, okay? Now the next shape that I want to put in is I'm looking at this right here. This is a pretty big division here, the top of the head. And this is going across, this is box-like, okay? So if I go here to here, and then here to here, I'm making these visual measurements. So I'm going to go about right there. Now, more important than the body is the head, okay? The main thing that we want to get is we want to get this head in there, okay? So that's going across, and that's coming down. There's the nose shape. And then now watch this. We want to get this in right here. Now, the most basic form or shape of the head, it's the same as a human head. So a human head, right? So you're going to do what we do, or you're going to do what I do. So that right there could be a start of a human head or an animal head. So we can go like this and go, okay, let's draw a person, right? Here's the center line. Here's the chin. This is coming down. This is coming up. This is the jaw. This is the side of the face right here. Here's the jaw. That's coming up. Let's put some more head back there. Okay, that's where the brow is, okay? And that's where the bottom of the nose is. That's where about 1/3 down is where the lips come together, and then about 1/3 down is where the chin is, okay? So there we have the start of a head, okay? Now, we can start an animal similarly. We're going to go, okay, well, here's this curvature right here. That's this curved thing right here. Look at this right here, going like that. So that's coming down like that. Like that, okay? And then I'm gonna come down to here. I'm gonna zoom in now so you guys can see a little bit better what I'm seeing. Let's move this over. Okay, so this is coming down, and now look, this is coming to where? That's the corner of the mouth, corner of the mouth. Okay, so we're gonna come around, that's the corner of the mouth. This is gonna come up to the nose. So we're gonna come up, arc up to the nose. So we're just keeping this loose. We're not totally concerned about like specific shapes. See, like a lot of people in the beginning, you know, they'll just go, oh, I'm just gonna do like one hard line. No, we're kind of easing into this. That's why we're doing, keeping these loose shapes. So this right here is this right here, right? Now we want to do, and it's this right side. Now we want to do the left side. We want to do this right here. So this is going to be about like that. And here's that right there is the angle of that mouth coming out like that. So that's coming down like that. Now from here, I'm kind of thinking perspective. You're like, what are you talking about perspective? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So perspective, and I'm starting to see this as a box. Corner, corner, look, this comes up, over, back down. That's a corner that comes up, over, back down. So we're going to go up, over, across, and I'm going to come back down. So that right there is like a box. You're like, what are you talking about, a box? This is what I'm talking about. Because if we look at a box, the underside, and I want you to sketch this in lightly on the side over here like I am. See that? That's the underside of a box, and that's what we're looking at right here. Having this understanding, this is going to give your drawing dimension. Okay? Now we're focusing on realism in Art 1. That's why I'm showing you guys this. And then part 2 of the jaw, this is going to come down. That's going to come down like that. That's going to go across like that. That's going to come down. That's going to come down. That's going to go across. That's going to come up. Boom. You see that? Let's process that for a second. So when I say let's process that for a second, what I'm talking about is allowing your brain to catch up. Because I'm talking, drawing, drawing, right? And if I don't ever stop, I don't allow your brains to process. You feel that? That empty, that like quiet? I'm allowing my brain and your brain to process what's happening. Okay. Does that make sense what I'm saying, guys? Okay. All right, I see some nods. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to bring, now see this right here, this is pretty crazy here, this little like thing here. But let's look at this and this. So this is wide here, then it gets narrow. So I'm looking at the teeth here and here. It's still, but look how the teeth, they disappear behind the lip here. So this goes behind. This is going to come down. This is going to go across. This is going to come down. And this is going to come across. Okay? I think that's right. It's pretty close. That's going to come across like that. All right. So there we go. I mean, I'm having the arc, this maybe, see this arcing over? I should have this arc over. See, once again, that's arcing over. Oh, cool. This is arcing over. I should have this arc over. So I am going to erase that. And when I'm sketching really lightly. Now, let's do an arc, a really long arc going like that. Let's like make this organic and curve this. Now watch this. This is arcing over, over. Now watch this. Little S curve. Let's do this little muzzle part right here. I don't know what that's called, but we're gonna go up like that. Now what I did was or what I'm noticing too that I need to point out to you guys, center line. Human body, look at me. Center line, right? Take your pointer finger, press on your nose, go left, go right, go left, go right. You guys feel that cartilage in the middle? You have a left side of your nostril and a right side of your nostril. It's split in two. We are split in two. We're symmetrical creatures. A dog is a symmetrical creature. So look here. See the center line? So we're going to put that center line in. We're going to arc that. It's about right there. Center line. Okay? Taking a breath here. Now I'm going to focus on the nose now. So let's focus on the nose here. This is a straight. That's a straight but shorter. This is longer. This is shorter. Why? Because this is a 3/4 view. 3/4 view. Boom. That's longer. That's shorter. Why? Because it's a 3/4 view. Okay? We see more of this side and less of this side. Okay, this is going to go up. Now watch this. Be careful here. Let's be observant, I should say. This comes up, and it comes over. This comes up, this comes over. All the way around like so. Let's put this little notch in here, the nostril notch, just because we're here already, so let's put that in there. Okay, let's put this nostril in, this letter C right here. When you guys are drawing, if you want to draw realistically, or even if you don't, you want to draw believable, like even cartoons can be believable. You know, I'm just looking at, oh, this is like a letter C, this is like a number 7, this is like a V, this is like a U, okay? And, for example, this right here, this is what? Like a comma. So that's like a comma. You guys are all familiar with a comma. Look at this shape right here. We're going to go across. Okay, that's going to help me keep it symmetrical, that sketch right there. We'll zoom in a little bit. I'm going to bring this over. Okay, so we can see that better. And let's do this. And let's go like a comma. And that right there is this right here. It's actually that line is that line. Okay. Now, this nose is a form. It's cylindrical but box-like. So this right here, this arc right here, that's important right there. This arc is important right here, that it shows dimension. That's like a cylinder. You're like, how's it like a cylinder? Look, this nose is like this. This nose is like that. Draw what I'm drawing. And that comes back, down, and forward. So that's wrapping around. There's the middle. That is this. Okay? So it's like a cylinder. Okay, anyway. Boom, and that comes down, and then that comes across. All right. Let's keep going. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And I don't want to lose sight of the big picture. The big picture meaning, if I just zoom into one part of this, like the nose, like I just did, I might lose track of the correct placement of the eye, of the ears, of the teeth, of everything else. So, you know, I'm going to be zooming in and out as we're working on this, so we can keep the proportions correct. Okay, so that right there is this straight, that straight is this straight, this ear's blurry, so we'll just put a little indication of it. But don't look at it as an ear. Go, oh, that's a triangular shape. What's this? Oh, it's an ear. I can't draw an ear. It's a triangular shape. So then we go, what's this right here? What is that? That's the center line. So we go, oh, let's put that in. Now that center line coming down. Now it's doing this. Arcing over, arcing under. See that little under arc? So arcing over, arcing under. And I'm adjusting my sketch accordingly. Okay, this is arcing over. Arcing over. This is coming up. About like that. Now, since we're at the ear, let's talk about the thickness of the ear. Look at this. See that, look. That's the thickness of the ear. That's the thickness of the ear. That's the thickness of the ear. Okay, so we want to go, let's put in that thickness of the ear. And then we go, all right. So that right there, look, that goes across, and then it goes back, down. That's the, hey, that's the thickness of it. That's the length of it, or the depth of it. Okay. So this is starting to come together. All right. Now let's come across eye to eye. I want you to look eye to eye. So let's put a line there, eye to eye, so we can keep those kind of line up. Even though we can't see this eye, we still want to give an indication of, oh, okay, that eye's over here somewhere. This is coming up. Watch this. That's little. Like that right there, I'm just going to give a little indication of that U shape or arc. So we're going to put a little indication of that over here. Okay. So now let's go over to this other eye over here. When you're drawing eyes, okay, we want this to look like, make sure this looks somewhat ferocious or angry. So the smaller the eye, the more angry or scary the thing is, less of an eye. You draw big eyes, it's going to look all cute and not as aggressive. So we want to put these eyes a little bit smaller. Now, I want to point this out. Look at the ear, how it flows in. We can make this connection right here. So we're going to go like this, put that in, and we're going to go. But before I do that, look at this. There's the muzzle of the nose. And that'll help me to place this eye arcing over and a straight arcing under. Now let's be careful here with all this stuff happening in the eye. So here, right there, we want to put this little triangular, I'm going to zoom in like that. We want to put in this triangular shape here. Let's slow this down a bit. We want to put this shape. Look at that shape. See that shape right there? And then we want to put that shape in. Let's put that line in for the eyelid. Let's put that line in for another section or fold or form coming out. Now look at this. This eye bag underneath, you see that? Let's put that form in. Now look at this right here. I'm going to zoom out. Check it out. See this stretching right here? That's it stretching back. Now what I'm doing is this is called the lay-in. Okay? Lay in or blocking in. We're putting in big shapes. I'm thinking shape, I'm thinking form, I'm thinking proportion, correct placement of things, relationships between, like, the distance between the eye and the nose. There's all these different things that we're thinking of. Okay, this is coming up. That's this coming up right here. So I'm thinking of the form here, but then I'm switching to shadow. I'm going, oh, now I see a shadow. What's that? That's a cast shadow. So that's going across the form. I'm going to put that in because when we start inking this thing, we're going to go, oh, I want to make this thing look dimensional. So that's wrapping around. Let's put that cast shadow in. So there's that line, and then underneath that line right there, there's this line right here. So some of these things, they're just cool shapes, and it's going to add interest. Now this is coming down, and this is coming across. There's this shape right here. Look at this. Arcing, straight, coming across. Okay? Coming across. What let's do next is let's go to the dark values. So he's got this dark value or black face right here, this part. So we're going to put this in right here. We're going to go like this, and this is going to come down, and that is that. I got to go make sure this is in the right spot. There's a curve right there. There's a curve right there. This is going to curve under. Like this. So that's coming down like so. Now watch, we're going to go around like this. Now this is where we got to think boxy right here. That's the front. That's the chin. There's the lip. We're about to get, I should say, a little detailed. Now, this is hard to see, but I'm going to zoom into this. There's this shape here. There's this line right here that's important. That's like part of the lip. Okay, so this is an important section right there. So we're going to come down. We're going to put that in right about here. And I think that's right. I'm just pausing for a second. looking at my work, checking it against the reference, allowing you guys to process, to kind of catch up. All right. You guys ready? Let's dive into these teeth. We're just going to go right in here. We're going to dive in. Ready? Here we go. Now, let's look at the top teeth, or these shapes up here, I'll call them. Now, this is higher than this. If I go to the end of this, that's higher, that's lower. Okay? This is higher, that's lower. Higher, lower. Higher, lower. So these teeth are coming down about right. I want to put that angle in because it's going to perspective. So about right here, we're going to do this one. This triangular shape, that's coming down, I'd say, about right there. That's rounded slightly, okay? That's rounded. Now that I put that in, let's go over here. Let's go boom, 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 boom. I'm going to put that kind of guideline in, and let's go like this. Like so. Now I'm identifying something here, and you can barely see it, but you can. Okay, look. See this little doodad, that little tiny line? That's the center line of the teeth. We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, 3's right here. That's 3. So you can barely see it, but that's 3 right there. So this is coming down, center line's coming down, center line's coming down. Okay, there's our upper lip section. Now, this is curved, curved. We're going to curve this now. We're going to turn this straight into a curve. Arcing under, arc and arc. And then here we're going to go. Now this is wrapping around. Watch this. See that? That's wrapping around. We're going to go wrapping around. All right. Center line, that right there is this right here. Okay, so that's going to give us a good guide. Now we can go little shape, little shape. So we go right side, left side, right side, left side. So right side, left side. And right side, left side, right side, left side. Right of the dog, okay, left of the dog. So now we put this shape. Now these are different. Each tooth, okay, these are shaped differently, so don't make them all samey. You make them samey, they look boring. They look like not natural. We got to make them look different. Okay, because they're different angles. That's a different angle than that. That's a different angle than that. That's a different angle than this. This one's hiding right here. So let's put this right here. I'm going to make that tooth a little bit bigger. And then this one's coming down. I got to move this tooth. So you make a mistake, erase it, change it, do whatever you need to do. So I got to move this back. I got to change that. So I'm going to move that back to the left. Woo! Okay, I'm going to give you guys a little bit to catch up. If I was just drawing this on my own, I mean, explaining it it takes a lot of energy, but it's okay. I'm going to just zoom in here so you guys can see this better. And it'll make some more sense. we're going to move down to the bottom. So when people talk about detail in a piece of art, what they're saying is small shapes. That's your quote detail, is small shapes or small mark making. And with the pen, the dip pen, you're going to be making a lot of little marks, but it's going to be killer. It's going to look awesome. What I love about inking is that the texture that it creates. All right, here we go. So we're going to head down. We're going to head down to that bottom row of teeth. And it looks like I got things in view, so that's good. All right. Let's go like this. Okay, what I'm seeing here is this. Watch. Let's simplify all this. Let's ignore all the variety. Now look at this line. Follow this line coming down and coming back. We're going to simplify this into one big shape. You're like, what are you talking about, Harward? Okay, before we do that, let's go like this. Let's put this line in right here. I think that's about right. Okay, now we're going to go like this to a point, and this is going to come up, curve up, over, and under. So this, inside this shape, inside that big shape, all these teeth are going to be inside that shape, okay? Now, that point represents this point. And next to that point is this triangle. Now look, this okay, we're back. All right, we're back. Now, gotta let it load up. There we go. Okay, cool. So this goes across. Look, this has a form. It goes across and up. So it has thickness. It's kind of like a box down here, and then it goes up to a cone. So we're going to go across, and we're going to go up. Now let's go across over here to the other side. And this is going to be jutting out over here. Now, what I want to do here is I'm checking myself. Meaning, I'm making sure that I'm doing things correctly. Now look, if I make an arc like this, see how these teeth kind of line up? If I go like this, this doesn't line up to this. So I gotta go, okay, move this tooth, or I'm going like that, and I'm going, okay, I gotta change this. These need to kind of line up. And this is arcing over, and this is arcing over. And then we have this shape coming up. It's like, I don't know what to call that, a swirl? Or, anyway, it's going thin to wide to thin, and then thin to wide to thin. So we got thin to wide to thin, thin to wide to thin. And once again, all those teeth are going to fit in there. Now, I see this on my screen, or maybe I'm imagining it, but look, we have this form inside. That's the gum doing that. Now, here's this tongue going across. Tongue going across, coming down, like so. This is going across, curving, that. This is coming across, coming across. There's the center line of the tongue, center line of the tongue. There we go. Now, down here, we got all this like crazy detail, all these crazy little shapes and details and things, and we'll deal with that later, like in our inking. But what I do want to point out here, where all this detail is down here, are different values. Some areas are dark, some areas have a dark shade, some areas have a medium shade like this. This is a medium shade, and some areas are light. And so that's what we're doing. We're trying to mimic reality by just using different values. A shade of dark, a shade of medium, a shade of light. That's all we're doing. Okay, when we start inking anyway. And that's what I'm thinking as I'm doing this. Now, I see a shape here, this weird shape here. So I'm going to put that in. It's like a figure 8. And then I see another white shape here. So I'm going to put another triangular-ish white shape there. This is kind of like a weird triangular shape here. So I'm going to put a triangular shape there. I don't even need to know what it is. Here's a little shape that's flat on top. So I'm going to put that shape right there. Okay. I'm assuming this is slobber. So I'm going to put a little shape right there. And there's all these little tiny oval shapes in here. You can put those in right now. I'm just going to put a little indication of some of them. But I'm not going to get hung up and be like, oh, I got to put all those little shapes in there. You'll do that when you start inking, okay? I'm just going to throw a couple in there. And this is arcing over. This is arcing over. I do want to be thinking of the form. That's arcing over. That's rounded this way. This is rounded this way. This is going under and under again. There's that lip, and then there's the chin. So that right there is this, and then underneath it is the chin. Okay, now, this is like the hardest part right here because there's so much stuff happening, so many little shapes. Hard doesn't mean it's like hard. Like hard means, oh, I got to lift, 200 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is hard? Usually things that are hard are physically hard or mentally hard, or they take a lot of time. But what's hard about this is being observant, and it takes time. The thing about rad art and art in general is it takes time. And some people don't want to put the time in. You know what I mean? Or it takes time for anything. Anything worthwhile takes time, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys want to argue that, but there we go. Okay, back into this. Let's look at these shapes right here. Okay, this is a small shape. It gets bigger, it gets bigger, it gets bigger, it gets bigger. But they're all different. Make sure they are, this is different than this. This is different than this. Even though this is triangular and this is triangular, this one's bigger than this one. And this is like two triangles put together. So we got to make sure that each of these shapes is different, or it's going to look weird. It's not going to look right, okay? It's going to look off. So there's a little triangle. Here's a little triangle, curvy triangle shape here. And they don't have to be exactly what I see, but close is good enough. Okay, close is good enough, guys. And that's the thing when you're drawing, when you're creating, it's like, let's say you're trying to make something look realistic. Close is good enough. And give yourself some flexibility. Now I'm thinking box, see, this is like a box. This goes across and it goes back. This goes across and this goes back. This comes up like a mountain. What happened? Huh? You can't see? Oh, you want to see the reference photo? There you go. There you go. Okay. And then there's that tooth, and there's that shape. So this is going up, across and down, across and down. So there's my little, see that big shape that I put in before? All those teeth are fitting in there. Now let's go over here. I'm going to work my way down. I'm going to start from the top. I'm going to work my way down. There's a little shape here. And there's another shape here. This is coming down and across, down and across, back up. So that's the biggest one in there. And we got this triangular shape. This is going down and across. Yeah. Now this is curved here. So this is curved like a cone. So I'm going, okay, this is like a cone. Okay, cone. So there's that cone shape. This cone shape's a little bit different than this one. And then we got this tiny little triangular shape. Okay. All right, I thought that was a smudge on my screen, but this is a weird shape that's inside the mouth, but I'm gonna put that in there because it adds, oh, well, we gotta put this in too. That's just gonna go across to here, and then comes back up. So that goes across, and that comes back up. And I'm trying to make sense of these diagonals and zigzags and things, and I'm just copying shapes. That's all I'm doing. Just looking at shapes. I'm kind of, my brain's going, you don't want to go, oh gosh, that's a tooth. I don't know how to draw a tooth. I don't know how to draw a nose. You don't got to do that. Just go, that's a diagonal. That's a curve. Here's this square type shape, or, oh, this is curved. So that right there is the most time-consuming, complicated thing. And now we have a little bit more freedom to tackle, to look at. That's wrapping. These other things. Okay. So now I'm going to zoom out here. And I'm going to zoom out here. I'm going to move this back. There we go. And let's move this over here. Okay, so check this out. I want to talk about light. Shh, hey guys. Shh. I want to talk about light. So light's coming down, it's hitting the top of the head. Now, see this right here, this line right there? That's a division of where light's hitting the top of the head, and this is the shadow side right here. So along this right here, that's your shadow side. So we have this division right here, this big area of shadow. So all this is in shadow. Okay, and this is in the light side. And that comes back up like that. And as you are inking this, when we start inking this in a little bit, I want you guys to be thinking what's in shadow, what's in light. What's in shadow, what's in light. And be asking yourself that question constantly. All right, so let's put some other shapes in here. I'm going to go like this. And you're like, what are you talking about? Let's put this big shape in right here. So this is coming around like so. I'm starting from the ear. And even though it's fur, we want to put these different levels of dimension. Okay, that's going in, that's going to go under. This is going to go over, that's going to go under. Now we got this line right here. We got that line right there. That line right about there. And we got this wrapping line. And this is coming from under like that. And I'm thinking, what's behind, what's in front of what? Like, this is in front of this is in front of this is in front of this. This section in front of this section's in front of this section. And that's going to help us give it dimension. And let's go, where's that chain? Let's put a little indication of the chain. We don't want to do it too dark, okay? It's pulling over here this way. More of that fur wrapping around. Another level. So this is in front of this is in front of this is in front of this, etc., etc. Okay? By putting these separations in, that's creating dimension. Now, look at this shape right here. That, look, over, up and over, curves, and then a straight to the left. So, boom, boom, that. This is arcing over. This is arcing over. This is moving to the left. This is moving to the left. That's all in shadow. We're looking for shadow shapes. Now watch this. See that right there? That's a division of dark, of shadow and light. Shadow, light. That division right there. So we're going to go like this. Light side, shadow side. Light side, shadow side. Look at this triangular piece of light. Triangular piece of light. What's that right there? Somebody said they can't see. So what's that right there? You have this big triangular piece of light, This right here is even lighter than this right here. So that's lighter. So I'm saying this is lighter than this. That's lighter than this. That's lighter than this. When I say that, what is the key word there? The key word is contrast. Write that down lightly. Contrast. Okay? Contrast is key. If you're going to make this thing pop, if you're going to make this thing dimensional, you have to have different levels of contrast. Okay? You got to have light against medium, medium against dark, dark against light. You know what I'm saying? Contrast. All right. Let's put this in right here. See this arc right here? Let's put that in. Now we're at the easy stuff. Now, I'm talking about light and shadow. This gets a little bit more, we need to be more observant when we're looking at different colors. Like this dog, it has areas of black and it has areas of tan, right? And areas of white. So it's got this like white, is, we would call it white or light beige. We have this tan color, and we have black. Now, when you look at black, the black isn't just black. There's different levels of black. So this black is really, really black, but over here it gets lighter. So there's lighter levels of black and darker levels of black, okay? Look over here in the nose. Let's look specifically at that nose. This is the darkest. This is all black, right? But we go, oh, that's the darkest black. This is a little bit lighter. This is a little bit lighter here. This is a little bit lighter. And this is the highlight area. So there's different areas of black. There's different levels, okay? And you got, when you're doing your hatching, doing your cross hatching, you're identifying values. You're identifying different shades, okay? And I think that's as far as I want to take the drawing. At this point, I want you to sign so nobody mistakes this for anybody else's. Now, also at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start inking, and you guys can talk, you guys can have conversation, that's okay. I'm going to kind of be demonstrating the inking part, and we're just going to have at it. But now you guys can, you can follow along, or you can do your own inking thing. All right, I'm going to get my tools. Yeah. You guys need to take a bathroom break, go ahead and do that. That's cool. So I'm going to focus on the darkest shapes, some of the detail and some of the darker shapes. I got my inkwell right here. Here we go. And I'm just going to get my regular nib, and I'm just going to start. Hey guys, I appreciate you being quiet. I appreciate you guys listening and being attentive. Raise your hand if that was helpful. Art 1, was that helpful? Drawing and explaining things? Cool. Okay. So I'm going to focus on really big, dark shapes first. You guys can follow along or not. And I'm just going, okay, this is a really big, dark shape here. And I'm going to outline it. And then there's a tool that, an amazing tool for ink that you can start using today if you guys want to. It's called the brush. Doing hatching right here in this darker area, but it's not black. So what does hatching do? It creates different values. If the lines are close together, it's going to look darker. If the lines are farther apart, it's going to look lighter. Okay, so this is going to be darker, this is going to be lighter. You can even do little dots if you want. You can do little dashes. Okay, it doesn't have to be long. You can do long strokes. You can do shorter strokes, okay? And then, of course, you can crosshatch. And I like to scribble, too. I have this whole area. See that X right there that I put in there? This whole area needs to be inked in. If you guys want, you can come up front here. I got little brushes. Get a little brush. And because this is, if I zoom in, this is all black in there. So my blacks, I'm going to just dip my brush in the ink. And be really careful. And I'm going to boom. Okay. Now, this whole area in here in the mouth, this is all black, so I'm going to take the brush and be really careful to this is a big old, lots of contrast there. It's just already popping. Just going right into these big areas of black. Now, if I want to like this area right here, I want to blend this part right here. I'm going to zoom into this and show you guys this. Okay, I want to show you how I'm going to blend this with ink right here. And I'm going to go like this. All right. So if I want to blend this, I'm just going to hatch. See that? And you can't blend like a pencil. You got to use hatching to make that blend or make it seem like it's blending, you know? I'm going to go to the nose next. And I'm going to use the brush because these are straight black areas. Where you going? Going home. What are you going to do there? Whatever. Oh, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Better. And this is, I'm going to go here with some straight black. A big area of black there. Zoom out a little bit more. Huh? Yeah. Try not to get your hand on where you have fresh ink, you know? Hatch, 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 hatch. And remember that the the nib, it has pressure sensitivity, so you can push down really lightly and you can push down harder and you can get a thicker line. So light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure. So that tongue's purple, but it's a darker value, so I'm gonna hatch this way, follow the form. Oh, I see you guys are using the calligraphic nib. Let me try to use that. I haven't used it yet, so let's try that. This is new to me, so let's try it. It's like my second time using it. Here we go. And I'll do some of these. It's a pretty broad nib, so oh cool, I got my I like that. I like the big strokes that you can make with that. And you can go side to side like zigzag. See that? And that gives it a fur texture. Oh yeah. Let's go. Huh? Yeah, yeah. And I'm just working. I'm switching. I'm not doing crocol yet, but I'm doing the calligraphic nib, the brush, the regular nib. I'm just going switching off one to the other. How much time we got? 10 minutes? Anybody? Huh? Ah! I love ink! I love it! Hi. Mila, you're up. Mila, not Miley, Mila. Okay, we got 10 minutes. Okay, everybody on, if you're there live, 2 people, I gotta go. Bye.